think it's pretty ridiculous. I mean, and it makes sense because the poorest Indians, even if they never see this program, it won't affect them. If it never happens, nothing will change. And if it does happen, well, great. That just means they get health care. But I doubt this will happen because, again, that's a huge amount of money to just suddenly, hey, we're spending all of this money on, healthcare for 500 million people. Especially when you consider that they only have 1 million registered doctors for its 1.3 billion people. Yeah, it's a fairly small amount, I feel like. I don't know how many. I mean, I'm sure we have like a huge supply of doctors here in the United States compared to its population. But it's also pretty interesting the spending difference.
He says as I look up specifically. Total number of doctors in medicine in the U.S. in 2013. So there was 1.045
So it's million.
Yeah, it was 1,045,000 in 2013.
Yeah,
we have less.
So we have 1 million doctors for 300 million people. So that's about of course 300 per doctor.
Still a lot. However, a lot of Americans don't go to the doctor. Also, that's another thing.
Yeah.
A lot of Indians don't go to the doctor either. They have home remedies.
They can't afford it, or the state hospitals are backed up.
Yeah, but a lot of their like way of life and culture is still more of a like stay home and home remedy stuff. I mean, whatever works over there.
I guess I don't know enough about their culture to comment.
Well, like, think about it like this way. It's like the Hispanic culture a lot. It's the same thing. Fucking anise is one of those. A lot of natural herbs actually do have healing properties. Oh, speaking of herbs having natural healing properties, I found out that Jägermeister is fucking is a medical or was originally used as a medical like whatever
tonic.
Yeah. And it's made with a shit ton of herbs and spices. In fact, there are many places in
what is this KFC? It's
got 54 or something herbs and spices and roots in it. And like that would make more sense now that whenever I started getting sick, I would take a couple of shots of it, and that's the recommended dose for it. And even in a lot of homes and in places in Germany, it's still used as a like cough anti-cold syrup, cough syrup type thing, and I'm like, that's pretty cool.
we should ask Trooper about that. How much Jaeger did you see down there?
Yeah, that'd be funny. It's just like it's in the cabinet. It's like the old, remember the old cartoons where they're out in the frozen winter areas and they have the dog with a giant cask on its neck.
Yeah.
I never quite understood that reference, but it was a thing.
Well, you never understood it?
I don't think so. I think I like looked into it one time and then forgot at this point.
Yeah, but anyways, to comment on this, it'll be interesting to see if this does actually roll out fully in effect, and if the people of India will take advantage of it. I would hope they would. If this program is actually realistic, whether India can afford this program or not is an entirely different question.
Whoa, are you saying my people can't afford? They're not really my people, but still.
Yeah, they're gonna have those scam call centers running around the clock at this point.
Fuck's sake. Please don't incur the wrath of the millions of Indians. Dear God, no, we don't. This is not what we need now.
What are they gonna do? DDoS you to hell?
No. Half of them don't even have, like, I don't think they have good enough systems to DDoS people. DDoS. Not just DDoS. DDoS. Drop the DOS. Point.
Anyways, next story.
Ah, yes, he says next story, as I am supposed to read the next story, while I sit here and do not get to the next story. But I shall get to the next story. Next story. India's Supreme Court rules adultery not a crime anymore. Ha ha ha. New Delhi, India. India's
All you women's and men's out there, go cheat your husband.
commit adultery. India's top court has ruled that adultery is a lot of things actually. Like masturbation is adultery. Looking at porn is
What?
adultery. Yeah, you didn't know that? Adultery, like as told by the Bible or as the sin is like just basically being lustful. So like,
Uh, did I answer that was for what was it? I think you may be mixing that up because I don't think it was adultery. I think it was. Shit, I can't remember. It's right there. It's that one thing where, like, all the sex things are under. Like oral sex, sex and all that jazz. What is it called?
Fellatio?
No.
No. Anyway, India's top court has ruled that adultery is no longer a crime, declaring the colonial-era law that punished the offense unconstitutional and discriminatory. The court ruled unanimously on Thursday that Section 497, a 158-year-old law, perpetuates the subordinate status of women, denies dignity and sexual autonomy, and is based on gender stereotypes.
Sodomy.
Yeah, sodomy is like... I thought sodomy was butt stuff specifically.
No, sodomy, it was anal or oral sex. Or sex between person and beast, or anything that was non-productive like masturbation. So that's what you were getting.
So sodomy is... Masturbation is sodomy? Shit. I am a sodomizer. Hey, Kenneth, I'm gonna sodomize you, Kenneth. My friend used to tell me that all the time. He's like, I'm gonna sodomize you, boy. Obviously, this is jokes, but still. I just I found the word funny. Usually when sodomy is tried here in America, it's like for butt stuff, though. Or in other countries, it's usually a gay man, like, fucking another gay man in the butt.
Well, yeah, because nobody wants to stop oral sex, but they do hate gay people, so...
No butt stuff. The court, the law criminalizes consensual sexual relations between a man and a married woman without the consent of her husband, which, if people want to be cheating fucks, as you said, is a big deal. Under law, a man convicted could face up to 5 years in prison, and a woman could neither file a complaint nor be held liable for adultery. My Chinese roommate just convinced me to eat the hottest pepper in China. My face hurts. Good job. You're drunk, probably. It's fine. You'll be alright. Section 497 has been criticized by rights groups for depriving women of dignity and individual choice and treating them as the property of men, which they are. But anyway, adultery can be grounded of civil issues, including dissolution of marriage, but it cannot be a criminal offense. Adultery might not be the cause of an unhappy marriage; it could be the result of an unhappy marriage," said Chief Justice Mishra, yeah, probably, while reading out the verdict. The judge deemed the laws unconstitutional after Indian businessman Joseph Shine filed a petition last year challenging Section 497. Obviously, he wants to cheat on his wife or have multiple wives or something. The Indian government had opposed the criminalization of adultery, stating in court earlier that this would erode the sanctity of marriage and the fabric of society at large. I mean, that's not necessarily wrong, because the cheaters will now flourish. In India is known as the...
Well, it's not like they've been hiding it, probably, but... I mean, they have been hiding it, but I mean...
All of the Indian show me Bab and Vagina pics, like, memes are going to skyrocket, as different Indian men will now do the thing. Anyway, but yeah, women are saying, hooray, feminism, blah blah blah.
Yes, if only you had your camera on so you could show off your feminist shirt.
If only I had my camera on to show off my feminism shirt, he says. Fight for the things you care about. By this chick. No shit. This chick here.
Yeah, so this chick, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I think she was the first. Was she the first woman Supreme Court justice?
I don't fucking know. I don't pay attention or think to care.
She's important.
Is she? Not to me, obviously.
Well, she's the second of four. Sandra Day O'Connor was the first.
That name's familiar, but
her
only as a
ruling
woman.
Anyways, on to Russia news.
On to big sigh. Russian news.
Yep. So the true identities have been revealed of the Salisbury suspects. Or one of them, at least, is a colonel in the Russian military intelligence.
They don't send colonels out to do legwork like this. That's kind of weird.
I guess maybe they wanted to make sure it was done in a very particular reason, particular order. I don't know.
I mean, but it wasn't obviously done well enough because everything was discovered. So it's kind of weird.
Well, it's also, I mean, it's Russia, so they're not exactly high quality.
It's true.
The name Anatoly Vladimirovich.
Fucking fucking like autism or
Chapiga.
what was I gonna say?
Chapiga? Yeah, Chapiga.
Not autism. I was gonna say something. I was making more jokes about you. Aneurysm. There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Yes.
The Salisbury Steaks. Fucking crucifix.
He was identified by British police earlier this month as Ruslan Bolshevik. But now an investigation by the organization Bellingcat has revealed his real name as Anatoly Vladimirovich.
You can't even fucking say it right without losing your shit.
Chapiga. The name, which has been confirmed by Sky sources. Chapiga, 39, is reported to have served in conflicts in Chechnya and Ukraine and was given Russia's highest state award, Hero of the Russian Federation, in 2014. It was by decree of the president, possibly for his service in Ukraine.
Interesting.
In a tweet that was deleted by British Defense Secretary Gavin Williamson, posted that the Salisbury suspect has been revealed to be a Russian colonel. The Home Office said it would neither deny nor confirm the reports of the suspect's real identity. Of course, it says here, British government has blamed Moscow for carrying out the Novichok attack on former Russian double agent Mr. Skripal and his daughter in the Wiltshire town on March 4th. The pair were both left in critical conditions after being slumped on a bench. Their whereabouts are unknown after they were treated. So, we'll see. I mean, now we know who these people are. We know their real name, or at least one of them. We know their faces, of course. We know their voices. If they ever step foot out of Russia, these people will be found and captured. But it's interesting to see that just more and more is just coming out. We're finding out more about this, and clearly Russia is just doing a shit job of,
Right.
It's kind of like the intelligence operation whose job it is to be secret and do the intelligence thing can't be secret.
They did not do the intelligence thing.
They are not very good. But that covers it. I mean, it's pretty interesting to see, and I guess we're just going to keep learning more as time goes on.
Mm-hmm.
I hope these gentlemen live a terrible life. But then again, they're already living in Russia.
They live a terrible life, but they already live in Russia. No, this is interesting. U.S. removing some missile systems from Middle East. Reuters. The United States is pulling some of its anti-aircraft and missile batteries out of the Middle East, the Wall Street Journal reported on Wednesday, citing U.S. military officials. The Pentagon will pull out 4 Patriot missile systems from Jordan, Kuwait, and Bahrain next month, the report said, adding that the realignment step marks a shift of focus away from long-lasting conflicts in the Middle East and Afghanistan to tensions with China, Russia, and Iran. 2 Patriot missile systems will be redeployed from Kuwait and 1 each from Jordan and Bahrain. The report said Patriots are mobile missile systems capable of shooting down missiles and planes. The report comes amid rising rhetoric against Iran from the United States, which earlier this year pulled out of the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, the 2015 deal in which Tehran agreed to curb its nuclear work in return for the lifting of most Western sanctions. Meanwhile,
As we've covered repeatedly.
Russia and the United States have been facing diplomatic rifts over Russia's 2014 annexation of Crimea from Ukraine, involvement in the Syrian conflict, and alleged meddling in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Yep. Sounds about right. Does that sound right to you, folks at home? Well, sounds like I said fucks at home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see. And yes, the F-35 conducts its first airstrike ever.
What? Is that the next story?
No, I just wanted to Google that. It's apparently the F-35B.
Interesting.
God damn, they cost $100 million.
Yes. Ooh, I got the notification. I got paid today. Whoa. Nice.
I've got the notification that I haven't gotten paid yet.
And I have to turn around and pay for everything by Monday. Bills.
Yep. So, a teacher says she was fired for giving zeros to students who didn't turn in their work.
Wow.
A teacher in Port St. Lucie, Florida, claims she was fired for refusing to give students partial credit for work that was never turned in.
Ouch.
Just... So quote, I got fired and I was packing my stuff, and I was not going to see the kids, said Diane Trado. Miss Trado didn't get to say goodbye to her students physically, so she wrote a message on the whiteboard. I love the message because it's just like, bye kids, Miss Trado loves you and wishes you the best in life. I have been fired for refusing to give you a 50% for not hanging anything in. Heart, Miss Trado.
I love how she even put all that on there. That's pretty good. That's not even partial credit. That's half. That's half credit. It's not partial.
Yeah, because apparently...
It's a lie.
No, it is partial. It's a part.
Yeah, it's like partial credit. I'd figure that figure is like more than that, or I mean worse than that.
It's partial credit. It's not passing, but still something.
Wait.
Anyways, so apparently she's teaching 8th grade. So it says, a quote from one of the students is that you showed me to be responsible for my work and the things that I do. I hope you don't forget me, one student wrote. Miss Torito had been teaching for more than 17 years.
God damn. Maybe they just don't want to pay her tenure, question mark, but TRS does that.
Yeah. The 52-year-old began working at Westgate K-8 school this year as an 8th grade social studies teacher. She says she gave her students 2 weeks to complete an Explorer's Notebook project, but said some of them didn't turn it in. That's when she learned about the no zero grading policy, written in red in the school's handbook, stating no zeros. Lowest possible grade is 50%.
Wow. That's weird.
Dorita says this sends the wrong message, but there's nothing to grade. How can I possibly give somebody a 50%, she added. Which is correct. Her September 14th termination letter doesn't cite a specific reason, only stating she was contracted as a teacher on a probationary period and that she can be dismissed without cause.
Wow.
Her message on her classroom's whiteboard has been shared hundreds of times, with messages from other parents.
Hold on, did they say she was contracted on a probation period? What? But she's been she's been teaching as a total for 17 years, but she's just been teaching here for.
Yeah, she started there.
Okay.
This year. Yep.
Gotcha.
So tonight she's calling on change because she believes the grading policy at Westgate K through 8 school won't help students in the long run.
It won't.
I'm arguing for the fact here that you don't get something for nothing. I want the policy to be changed, and it's just not here. There are zeros found. There are zeros found in the grading scale above the no zero wording. On the Westgate Student Parent Handbook, which adds confusion.
Right.
So I stand with this teacher. Fuck you. If you didn't turn in work, you get a zero.
Yeah, I was a kid that
happened
didn't turn
year.
in my work all the time. I got zeros for my fucking credit, but man, I made that shit up when it came to what's it called?
Extra credit.
When it came to extra credit, and also whenever I did everything else, like the important things like tests and whatever.
Yep. Okay. So that's all I'll say for this. I stand by this teacher, and I hope this policy gets changed.
Oh, hold on a second. Alright. Distracted boyfriend advert ruled sexist. A Swedish internet company broke gender discrimination rules by using a popular meme in an advertisement. The country's advertising regulator has ruled. Benoff posted a version of the distracted boyfriend meme on Facebook to advertise job vacancies. The image, which shows a man looking at a woman in a red dress while his girlfriend looks on in horror, has been widely parodied online. Yeah, it's a fucking meme. But the regulator said the image was discriminating both men and women. Benoff's version of the meme shows you, quotations, the distraction boyfriends, which is do. I was like, do ha. So that was gonna be a fucking Ramstein one. Bahnhof, the woman in the red dress, which is the company. And then your current employer, the girlfriend looking on in horror. The regulator, oh god, here comes the butchering. Raklan man Budsmannen said the image objectified women by showing the man's appreciative reaction. It was also sexually discriminatory towards men by imparting a stereotype picture of men looking at women as being interchangeable. What? The regulator told the BBC the ruling has to be taken as advice on good advertising ethics. The regulator told the BBC the ruling was to be taken as advice on good advertising ethics. Benoff will not have to remove the image and will not be fined. In a statement, Benoff said, anyone who supports both the internet and meme culture knows precisely how this meme is used and interpreted. We explain both purpose of the image and meme culture for the regulator, but they have chosen to interpret the post in a different way. Oh man, and then all of the memes coming in afterwards. Daft interpretation of meme, Swedish advertising watch the actual point of the meme. Oof. The ruling was largely ridiculed online by people who suggested the regulator had failed to correctly interpret the image. Well, yes. Is this sexist in reality? I guess this is real life. Of like a dude seeing an attractive woman walk by and his girlfriend to get him at him. This is just real life. This isn't necessarily like a guy versus girl thing. In fact, there is a girl version of this exact picture with the same like people, the same chicks, and then the dude and some other dude. It's the same shit. So I just fucking, it's a meme, man. This is interesting. This feels like this should go into, like, some other thing. Anyway, Texas boy thought to be nonverbal can speak after dentist discovered he's tongue-tied. Let's see if this is a video to roll. Uh-oh.
That's like you! It's like me, huh? Let me hear it.
Everyday conversation wasn't something that came naturally to 6-year-old Mason Moss. He's been in speech therapy since he was a year old.
Nothing was really working. You know, he had probably a 5-word vocabulary and and we were just looking at alternative means of communication.
Mason was diagnosed with Soto's syndrome, which caused him to have distinctive facial features and learning disabilities. But it didn't quite explain why he couldn't speak, until a trip to the dentist revealed Mason was biologically tongue-tied.
When you're in utero in your mom, you have webbed fingers and webbed toes. When you're developing, your tongue is part of the floor of your mouth, and it separates similarly through the same process. And a tongue tie is simply an incomplete separation.
Mason's dentist caught the issue during a checkup and fixed it. His mom says the results were immediate.
We took him home that evening, and then he started talking about, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. Can we watch a movie? Like, blowing our minds with these full sentences for the first time within, 7-8 hours of coming home, and just, it was just shocking.
Mason is still going through speech therapy, but the procedure has also improved his life in other ways. His mom and doctor say he no longer has problems sleeping or choking while he's eating.
And he's just vibrant, and he sleeps well, and he's just precious and a joy, and it's wonderful to be a part of seeing that transformation and being a part of that transformation for him.
Mason's mom says she's glad she kept working to find him the help he needed, and urges other parents to be persistent in seeking medical advice.
They should trust their gut instinct about their child, and if you think that something is going on, doctors may tell you one thing, but keep looking and keep trying, because you're usually right. You know your child best.
For InsideEdition.com, I'm Mara Montalbano.
All right, well, there you go. Good story. Oh no. Ahem. Teens unwittingly steal oregano after smashing van into pot dispensary. Oh, fuck. This is beautiful. Here's a tweet. CSPD says a group of teens drove a stolen van into this pot shop and then burglarized the store. But they didn't make off with anything real marijuana. In other words, there's a good chance they're trying to smoke oregano right now. Oof. The owner told 11 News they didn't put the real deal and items up for display. That's probably a smart idea. Though the teens didn't get away with what they thought, they still left a mess for employees at the Economy Boulevard and Austin Bluffs Parkway shop to clean up. The van went all the way through the front foyer of the business and inside, said Sergeant Elsie Morgan with the Colorado Springs Police Department. The smash and grab happened just after 1 a.m. in front of several witnesses. Somebody says, I guess this is passerby, I was coming out from work and all of a sudden we heard this big old crash, said Brent Rathbone. The suspects came out with bunches of marijuana in their arms. Rathbone called police. He said the suspects showed their gratitude with a beer bottle flung his way. Of course, they're like, hey, you old fucking old man. I decided just to call the cops, and we decided to get their plate number and everything. Then I get a beer bottle thrown at me, he told 11 News. The van, which police have since determined was stolen, was left behind by the suspects, parked and still running, sitting well inside the store. Rathbone and other witnesses told police they saw the group leaving a separate getaway car waiting on the other side of the dispensary. Officers believe there were 2 people in the van when it crashed into the store and 2 others in the getaway vehicle. Native Roots is not the only place police believe the group hit overnight. Liquor Store 3, Thirsty Goats, Jesus, these fucking names, located just up the road, was burglarized around the same time. Officers tell 11 News they think some of the suspects broke into that store to cause a distraction while their accomplices drove into the dispensary. The teens caused thousands of dollars in damage. 11 News has previously reported on a string of similar crimes involving Springsteens, stealing vehicles, then driving them into business. While not stating if Wednesday morning shenanigans were related, Morgan acknowledged the resemblance. There does appear to be a pattern with regard to similar crimes like this, not only with dispensaries, but with other businesses as well. And welcome back, Kenneth. I hope your call was nice and important. You have 3 stories to do, so it basically puts us almost to the end. Enjoy.
Okay, on to tech news.
Oh, well, I see. I was going to say, was there actual fucking... I didn't even change the stupid tag. Oh, there is... There is no tag up, actually. Ha-ha!
Yeah.
Yeah, it works anyway. Suck a dick. Oh yes, I was gonna say Fortnite is going actual crossplay on Gay Station. Finally.
Yes.
4292.
Yes. Oculus Quest is a new.
Hold on a second.
300
I don't see this. Oh, there it is. Oculus Quest right here. It's 400, by the way. He wrote 400, not 300.
I was gonna say
Oh,
$399.
hey. So speaking of which, the Vive is actually now $400. The old Vive.
Really?
Yes. I saw
Wow,
somebody
that's
selling
good.
one at the TI whatever the TI community website. The joke that they stopped or whatever because anyway the TI classifieds and there's a dude selling it for like 460 and then and he had a link to Best Buy and they're 480 on Best Buy.
Well, yeah.
Or is it 480 or 380? Yeah, it's 4 I think. So it's 500, but still not still cheaper than I bought it for.
Yeah, well, they went down in price, yeah. Anyways, so yes, the $399 standalone VR headset shipping next year.
All right, so this might actually push this closer to being Vive good.
Nah, I still doubt it. Like, I'll give it this. Like, the Rift's ergonomics are fantastic. Like, it has
The Xbox controller, the broken half Xbox controller. That's what it is.
No. I mean, I'm talking about the headset itself, not the controller.
Oh, the headset looks good. It looks like it has the high quality strap from the Vive's headset strap thing. Only if it had like tightening knob back here, like a welder's helmet, this would be perfect.
Yeah. But it doesn't have, I guess you have to have your own earbuds. That's that little audio jack on the right side.
Which is fine, because I didn't like the built-in ones on the original Oculus. I also don't like any built-in headphones. My headphones are much better than the built-in ones that actually do.
Like, I don't know. Like, the Vives built-in headphones? Solid.
Yeah, but those are on ear. I prefer circumaural that go around my ear so I can get the full encompassing surrounding sound, and especially out of a surround sound headset like mine, it makes the VR feel better.
I don't know. Like,
It makes me
3D audio-
feel like I'm inside the space because my ears are closed off to the outside world. I can't hear as much on the outside. It just works better to me.
I guess.
I don't hear as much surrounding
Anyways.
sound.
So, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg says that
The
with
Zuck.
Oculus Quest is the Zuck. We will complete our first generation of Oculus products. Really, this is still first gen? Okay.
Okay. Okay, that's a fucking lie. This is second gen. Fuck off, Mark.
Yeah.
Like for real.
He says the Oculus Quest combines the key attributes of the ideal VR system, a wireless design, virtual hand controllers, and full positional tracking. If we can bring these three qualities together in one product, we think that will be the foundation of a new generation of VR. The Oculus Quest is a consumer version of what was previously known as Project Santa Cruz. It uses motion trackers, motion controllers similar to the Oculus Touch, and 4 wide-angle cameras to provide positional tracking that lets people walk through the virtual space. It's supposed to support Rift quality, quote unquote, experiences with a starting catalog of over 50 titles, including well-known existing games like Climbing Simulator The Climb and adventure puzzle game Moss. Oculus VR head Hugo Barra described Oculus Quest as made for games, as opposed to the normal, which I suppose really isn't. Distinguishing it from Oculus's other, more video-focused mobile headsets. We're going to be investing significantly in this platform. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So, the Oculus Quest essentially combines the high-end tethered Oculus Rift headset with the relatively cheap standalone Oculus Go that was released earlier this year. It used the same optics as Oculus Go with a resolution of 1600 by 1440 per eye, but with the option of adjusting the lens spacing. Ah, good. So IPM, yes, yeah, something like that. IPD, interpupillary distance, which is good. Definitely helps ergonomics. And also, like the Oculus Go, the Oculus Quest includes built-in speakers that pipe sound to the user's ear.
Oh.
It would supposedly improve bass. I guess they must be like directional as a part of that thicker part of where the headset connects to the.
Yep, that's quite
strap.
possible.
That's the only place I think I could put it.
Or they
Unless it's
put
like
it
inside the headset.
Yeah. That was the only other thing I was gonna say. It's like inside the headset.
Hmm. But this is huge. This is a really big deal. Not only because, this is one of a really big 6-degree freedom wireless headset, which is cool, but also the tracking space. Barra described it as having arena-scale tracking that supports 4,000 square feet of space. Its controllers have the same button layouts as the Rift Touch controllers, but with the half-moon tracking ring reversed. So it loops above your hands instead of below them. Okay. I guess it makes sense because you need that for the cameras to see it.
Hmm.
But still, 4,000 square feet of, play space, possibly. That's huge. I mean, it's like the Vive could do that. It's theoretically possible with Vive 2.0 to do that, but you'd need the 2.0 base stations everywhere. So for this device to be able to be wireless, standalone, and play Oculus games, it's pretty cool.
Interesting indeed.
Alright. Other than that, I mean, still I'm a fan of Oculus and their practices and being on their Facebook and all that other bullshit. I mean, I'll still take the Vive any day. But it's pretty cool.
I don't know, man. I might give that a try just because the old college try, the freedom. And if the tracking is anywhere halfway decent near the Vive, I would just take that in a heartbeat instead. Because I mean, it's whatever. If I could freely move around without the wires, it'd be cool. No, the question is...
Or you could just get the wireless head attachments for the Vive.
There's still a wire that runs down
It's
my body.
$300.
But I have to buy a fucking, how many... so a $500 Vive, okay?
You already own a Vive.
Shut up for 2 seconds. I have to buy a $500 Vive.
Just spend the $300.
And then I have to spend the $300. And then I have to wire everything up. And then... It's old technology when I can get this new shiny technology for $400, not have extra wires, and just be done with it. Also, I can just have both.
Yeah.
To have both anyway.
Well, get both then, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy it. I'd probably go test it at Micro Center. There we go. I had to remember.
Or you could buy it and then just return it.
I
Try it out.
suppose I could buy it and return it.
Anyways, Amazon to open 4-star store in New York. Online retailing giant Amazon is opening up a new store in New York that will only sell products that receive a high rating on its website. The store will sell toys, household goods, and other items that have a rating of at least 4 stars or more online.
Interesting.
Customers who visit the store will pay less if they bought into Amazon Prime's service. Like you can see from that little KitchenAid artisan stand there. The price normally $429.
Wow.
Or the Amazon price $279.
That's actually a big fucking deal.
Yeah, that's huge.
Makes me glad that I'm an Amazon member.
Yeah, which it really has paid for itself.
Yeah, actually, literally overpaid for itself. Even if you have not the Prime that me and him have, which is student or whatever.
No, I don't have student anymore.
Oh man, I still have student.
It ran out, so I have normal.
It is not ran
But
out.
still, I get that 1-day shipping shit. And the same day shipping, actually.
I get 1 day. I don't think I've done the same day. It has to be over $35 though, so I have to sit there and spend a bunch of money on shit, which I do because I'm but I can get it sooner.
Yeah, but it's also convenient because I can just order something it's gonna be here today.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, physical shops are becoming a key expansion area for Amazon as it seeks to take on more traditional retailers. The company currently operates 17 bookshops and is experimenting with its Go outlets that do away with cashiers. I didn't know they had 17 bookshops.
Who does? Oh, Amazon. Yeah.
Amazon?
Oh yeah, they have some shit.
Is that like through um, Trader Joe's? Or is that like
No.
independent, like these are Amazon bookshops? Because I've never heard of Amazon having bookshops.
Does it? It says bookshops. Unless you're paid for the Whole Foods chain to fuel its push into fresh food and help bolster its grocery delivery service, which is Amazon, I guess, Fresh or Pantry.
Amazon Books, yeah, they have apparently bookstores
Oh yeah,
in New
I
York.
didn't know that actually.
So the New York location is the 7th location to open nationally since 2015. More than so 17 somewhere.
Oh, apparently there's a K2. K2 has a big red margarita that's really good, supposedly. You're gonna have to go try it, and well, you don't live there anymore. We're gonna have to go try it. Speaking of which, when do you want to go see your family? I'm going down for Thanksgiving, probably.
Yeah, I plan on going down then as well.
All right, let's figure out how to time that and make that work.
Yeah, we'll work it out. No problem.
Cool, because I know you're not gonna fucking drive. I know you're not gonna drive anywhere ever. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I love how there's just a
so-
random cue card Amazon customer review here on this picture.
Right.
What? I wonder if they print out any of the trolley reviews.
I hope so.
That would be great.
So analyst Michael Pachter was skeptical about the store's prospects, given that it would only be able to hold a certain number of physical items. If I'm looking for television and this store is full of kitchen appliances, it doesn't help me very much. He's got a point. There's a lot of 4-star and 5-star shit, so how are they going to pick it? Are they going to like cycle out inventory like just randomly? Or what? I'm sure they have the statistics to be like, at this point in time, in this given month of this year, or this, general location, more people order X, so we should stock X. I mean, they have those statistics, so they could do something like that.
Yes. What you said. I didn't just tag you in random shit.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Do you get it? Don't think too hard. Don't use his real name. Think about what we call him.
Who's in the last?
No. What does he look like?
The Zodiac Killer?
There you go. And now he gets it, ladies and gentlemen. Alright.
Is this
Yes. It's the Caterpillar book. Zodiac Killer on a caterpillar. I think that's the way that's supposed to go. I'm not sure, but that seems to
Or the
fit.
Caterpillar Killer?
I have no idea.
Either way, it's all funny.
Yep. It's all good fun to me.
Anyways, finally, on to PlayStation news, with PlayStation finally
That weird voice
Getting
crack.
on the goddamn-
PlayStation knows! That was a weird voice
getting on the
crack.
goddamn ball
Yeah.
and doing what's right and not being like, because literally, we covered that where they came on and be like, PlayStation's the superior console to play on.
So that's what they said, and it's weird because when PlayStation was like the biggest losing console in PS3 for online play, they touted cross-plat,
Yeah.
and then they reneged on it. They were the biggest fucking like.
And they did, and the PS Network was free.
Yeah, that was back when everything was free. That was pretty cool. Not sure why they switched to the Xbox model, and then I feel like it was more expensive than the Xbox model though. Cause I could pay.
It's cheaper.
Is it cheaper? Sure.
I think it's the same price actually.
Yeah.
It's $60 out of the way.
Yeah, it's the same price.
Yes, so PlayStation has finally backed down in its Fortnite crossplay issue. Sony is letting gamers on PlayStation consoles now play against those rival devices. Many games already let those using a PC. And the thing is about this as well is that Nintendo, who's notorious for not doing cross-platform shit, because a lot of their shit's like first-party titles, they do cross-platform. But yes, many of those games are already on PC, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One, play together online, but Sony has refused to take part. It previously cited child protection as one of the reasons. Oh, fuck you, so. However, it has identified a path. Yes, it took so long because Sony has like a couple cross-platform games on the PS4, I believe. I feel like they do.
Who does?
Sony.
They did cross-platform with Dust, which is the Eve game, Eve on the PC and Dust on the PS4. But other than that, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but still, they've done it. So it's not like they need to find a path to do
Actually,
it.
so
There's
there's cross-plat between PS4 and PC. But no consoles. Even though, if they stop to think about it, for 2 fucking seconds, Microsoft owns most of the PC gaming market. Because, oh, guess what? The only fucking OS you can really play games on is fucking Windows.
I suppose so, but it's not really Microsoft. Like,
Microsoft owns Windows. Even if you have a Linux box and you want a dual boot, you still use Windows. Even if you want to do it, Windows.
Actually, this is a story we probably should look at it. But Valve has actually come out with an enhanced version of Wine that's called like Proton.
Oh, God.
That they're working on and developing specifically with the developers of Wine to allow you on Linux to play any PC game rather than Windows.
That's kind of interesting. Well, then at that point, but I still think I still argue that most PC gaming is done through Windows. In fact, most of the people at work literally, like, we have so many Unix heads. That's the best thing about where I work. We literally stand up, look at the other cubicle next to us, and it's all the Unix guys. And like our boss, the old man, is like Unix admin, and he calls our fucking Windows machines all game boxes and shit. He acts like a super old man. He's like, I don't know nothing about this game box or game OS. And I'm like, ouch. Nah, he just fucks around. So we like shit talk each other all day. We're like, fucking Unix. And one of the dudes, Bobby was being really loud the other day, and one of the dudes was like, can you quiet down over there? It takes a lot of concentration for Unix. And everybody just laughed. Because it's just command line. Good old jokes. And then when I'm like, yeah, I'm using, like somebody will walk by, I'm using command prompt or PowerShell, and they'll be like, what is this blasphemy on a GUI box? And I'm just like, stop.
On a GUI.
Anyway.
But normally, are they finally allowing it for Fortnite? But we talked about how they're bullshit, where they block PlayStation games from using their Fortnite accounts, their Epic Games Fortnite accounts that they made or transferred to PlayStation on the Nintendo Switch.
Which is fucked.
They found if they'd used them at any point, like if they tried it on Xbox or on the Switch and they moved it to the PS4, they could not move it back.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, it was blocked. They couldn't move from another console onto that console. It would automatically ban their accounts or some shit.
Yeah, it just wouldn't work. But now, Sony Interactive's president, John Codera, said in a statement, "We recognize that PS4 players have been eagerly awaiting an update, and we appreciate the community's continued patience as we've navigated through this issue to find a solution." God, fuck you and your bullshit. It's like you've done this for with the PC and with the, maybe not other consoles, but you've done cross-platform.
Yep.
So
it's just console faggotry.
Sony. Not even console, just Sony.
Well, it's Sony and the other consoles. Like, it's Sony denying the other consoles. What I'm saying, it's Sony's console factory. Because again, they do it with fucking. All right. Sony... So something's triggering me. What's with the fucking moth meme? Do you have knowledge on the moth meme? I don't know. Scrolling through Facebook and all I see are memes of moths. And then the other day I saw.
I haven't been on Imager today because
you're actually working now. But it's questionable if you want to be on Imager at work.
I'll be an image at work. People on not Facebook, but on
LinkedIn.
YouTube all day.
Oh, dude, we have some people using Facebook. There's literally a clause in our TSP employee manual that says we can be on Facebook and blog sites. We just can't blog negatively about anywhere we're working. And I'm like, okay. That's the technical designation of we can be on YouTube and Facebook, or not YouTube. We can be on Facebook and some other shit, and it doesn't matter. I was like, I guess that's cool. Anyway, on to the next story. I just want to make sure it's this Ontario thing. Okay. Ontario government to allow pot smoking wherever tobacco smoking is allowed. That makes sense because it's just smoke. Ontario residents will be able to smoke recreational cannabis wherever the smoking of tobacco is permitted. The progressive conservative government said Wednesday. Is pot legal in Canada?
In Ontario, I think specifically.
Loosening rules established by the previous liberal regime. Wait, why would what? Conservative? What? Why is the conservative government becoming more loose than liberal? Is it backwards in Canada?
No, it's not backwards, but it's a progressive conservative government.
What? That's okay. My brain is fucked now. Anyway, the government will also not put a cap on pot shops when it starts licensing and regulating the province's private cannabis retail marketplace, and municipalities will have until January to opt out of hosting the stores. The details were announced by Ontario Attorney General Caroline Mulroney. That sounds fake as fuck. Phony and finance minister Vic Fedeli. A day before new legislation on pot rules was set to be tabled. Under the previous consumption rules, those over 19 is such a weird age, would have only been able to smoke cannabis in a private Ontario residence when pot becomes legal October 17th. The proposed legislation eases the regulations to allow marijuana to be smoked in the same places as cigarettes. Relying with the Smoke-Free Ontario Act, Mulroney said, referencing the provincial set of rules on tobacco use. If you're able to smoke tobacco in your home, you'll be able to use cannabis as well. Smoking pot in vehicles or boats that are being operated will be prohibited. Breaking the rules would see people subjugated to fines ranging from $1,000 to $5,000 upon conviction. The government...
Well, that's all that really is. It's not a really big deal.
The government announced last month that it would sell recreational cannabis online when it is legalized next month, with private retail stores set to be in place by April next year. So the government is gonna sell it online? What? That's interesting. I had to cover that because that's fucking interesting. Other than that, everything's whatever.
Yeah, just the Amazon of weed. Just order it online and get it shipped to your house.
Apparently, I'm guessing, looking here, it said the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario will regulate the marketplace. So I guess it's like their ATF.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Pretty much. Anyways, out of this stupid story, Tennessee inmate escaped prison, then attempted to sneak back in with contraband.
You know, this is literally not the first time we've covered a story like this. I think we literally covered one last year or some other time with the same premise.
Maybe. That was a year ago.
This is going to happen a lot.
Who remembers? I mean, escape, sure, but going back?
If you want to fucking be the fixer, man, you gotta give him the shit.
I suppose so.
Oh shit, hold up. Somebody just shared a link. Brisket ramen is a true Houston mashup. You've got to try it. Oof. Oh, it looks fucking nice. Anyway, yeah, carry on.
Yeah, so a Tennessee inmate found escaping prison's the easy part. Getting back in proved much more difficult. Robert Fusco, who's already serving a 68-year sentence for especially aggravated kidnapping, pleaded not guilty Tuesday to accusations that he escaped prison only to attempt to sneak back in days later with a cache of contraband. Fusco, 37, so he's got a life sentence essentially, escaped from the Morgan County Correctional Complex, a minimum security facility, on January 5th, and was captured 2 days later trying to smuggle in drugs, cell phones, and tobacco into the prison. He's just going all out, yeah. He was reportedly trying to sneak in the innocent items to sell on the prison's black market. That just, never escape a black market.
Right.
Neither the State Department of Corrections nor prosecutors have revealed how Fusco escaped the prison. Of course, because they probably encourage other folks to try it.
Hold on a second. This just in breaking tech news. There is a fucking RGB solid state drive now. You're welcome, everybody.
Yeah, I saw that.
And good night.
So let's see. So there's RGB everything pretty much, right?
You got your RGB power units, your RGB computer coolers, which I have, RGB
cases,
case,
RAM.
RGB RAM, RGB water cooling
There's
system.
one thing we have in RGB.
RGB solid states now. There's no RGB hard drives
No.
or CD drives.
RGB CPU.
Well, you can't ever see the CPU, so it doesn't count. The CPU
Doesn't
cooler.
matter.
I think the CPU cooler is good enough for that. I think that counts because you
No.
can't see the CPU. It's underneath something always.
Says, how would you RGB it?
You can. Well, I mean, like for instance, I think my socket has RGB, so I guess it close enough counts. I don't know.
Yes.
Also, you can even there's fucking light. Okay, so I was looking at this because I'm gonna build a custom liquid cooling loop for my computer eventually, as money constraints are disallowing me from doing that, and a car for like Cohen in my race car is more important. But fucking there's LED modules that will actually clamp into my loop and like provide LED lighting within the pipes. I was like, oh, first of all, it's cool as fuck.
How do they get power?
Same way everything else gets power through wires to the PSU.
Yeah, but you're physically talking within the pipe.
I'm thinking so, or on the pipe with the LED sticking into the pipe. Because remember, LEDs are just plastic diodes, and there doesn't have to be any metal in there.
Yeah.
And like running electricity along a pipe isn't a big fucking deal. I mean, it might be for a cooler, but I don't know. Shouldn't be. Run it.
It probably just attaches to the pipe.
It does. It's the like elbow pieces, the end pieces of the pipe.
Yeah, but I'm talking about. I don't think the diode goes inside. I don't know. I'd have to
The
see
diode
it,
might
but
go in there. I don't know. I have to actually unbox it because it just looks like it's the ends of like a pipe, and the end contains the diode, which is probably what it does. The diode can still be internal. Again, it doesn't matter as long as there's no metal going into it, and so there's no power going through it. You can have a fucking diode hanging in there all you fucking want. It's just a piece of plastic. I don't know. Or they can use the weird waterproof the gooey stuff, the stuff that I stole from the AT&T guy, or the weird little the wire crimpers that use the gel that's also waterproof. Those things are cool as fuck. Also expensive. But yeah, so I don't know. Anyway, any more information on this?
I got the last story, but
You what?
I said cut the last story. It's not super.
Okay, so that's it. Alright, well, yeah, that's all from those of us here at Table Talk Thursday. A 2016 Hyundai Genesis Coupe in Dallas, Texas. Ha, targeted ads. Anyway, yeah, so this has been the show from those of us here at Table Talk Thursday. Again, this has been
Episode 76.
Episode 76.
Yeah, sorry for the late start, folks. Things have been all over the place.
He's got a new job, and I had to get food because the lazy roommate did not. First of all, eats out of pans continuously and doesn't clean up. I had to get Michelle.
Scratch up the pans.
I don't know. I know. Well, it does actually. I believe food does eat away at the Teflon and stuff on the pan, so that might be correct. But also, people scratching the pans. I remember whenever everybody came over and I was triggered how scratched up my pan was after somebody. I think I'm pretty sure it was Trooper's fucking gravy because he was just stirring it with a metal fork. Fairly certain.
Yeah.
Love you, Trooper, but I still think it's your fault.
Anyways, check out the channel here on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. CST for the Anime Talk Show Tuesday, which they will do.
which they will do.
Maybe, I don't know. Also check out the channel here on Saturday for Mass Effect DND.
Whenever I'm here, that is.
Whenever he's here. I mean, the Mass Effect happens without him, but hey, check it out if he's live and he's here.
And
that covers it. Have a good evening, folks.
and we'll catch you on the next stream. Good night, everybody.